There's a prophet I just came across yesterday. I just discovered him yesterday. Of course, he's been discovered long before I ever existed, but for me, it was the first time a discovery, just hopping around on the Google, and I'm not going to attempt to say his name because I respect him too much to mispronounce his name, and I know that I will if I try to say it. So I'm actually just going to spell his name. Sadhu Sundar Selvaraj, and it looks like he has the site JesusMinistries.com. That's the name of the prophet. Ever since I was a little girl, I heard for a long time now, for most of my life, I heard what everyone has to say, who has what to say about a so-called rapture. And something was unsettled in my stomach every time I ever heard a lecture or a teaching or anything on the rapture. Something wasn't settling right. In the way that you can hear certain scriptures and you just and it will settle right and just get this sense like, oh, I'm listening to truth. And I never had that whenever I heard any kind of teaching on the rapture. I always felt very unsettled. And as all these years go by, and now in the midst of this pandemic, the topic of the rapture is coming up more and more and more. Hot topic among big-time preachers. And I feel so small listening to them. I'm like, it's still, after all, like my entire life, after all these decades, something's not settling right every time I hear a teaching on the rapture. It's not settling right. I'm not able to just, accept the message. There's something very questioning inside of me whenever I hear about this rapture. And then I look at who's teaching on the rapture, and I'm saying, like, these are wise men. These are men with huge congregations. They're leading multitudes of people. If we put them all together, it's millions and millions of people are being led, millions of sheep by these wise men and these pastors who happen to be teaching on the rapture. And something's still not settling. I'm like, well, if I just say I don't believe in this or that doctrine, it's like I'm really standing against and going against the flow of what's a big popular opinion in Christianity. Or what's thought to be a truth in Christianity on the teaching of the rapture. So there's these two birds, and they're just sitting on a branch, and one of them is just gonna get swept away, and the other one's gonna get left behind. Or the birds look at each other, and they just know. They look at each other with that knowing look, like, yeah, we're for better or worse, we're in this together. We're in this together. But all of these great pastors out there who are teaching on the rapture, I feel that they would be better off taking a lesson from an Indian Christian. An Indian Christian who's a prophet, and his name is spelled Sadhu Sundar Selvaraj. And he does an interview on a Jim Baker show, and if you just Google that up, go right to that interview, and to extract that, get that information on what he has to say about this so-called rapture. And the reason why this is so important, that all these major preachers out there just take just a few minutes of their time to listen to this Indian Christian. Just an excerpt on what he has to say about the rapture. Why this is so important is because these mega big-time pastors are leading multitudes, I would say hundreds of thousands, but if we put all of them together, it's really millions that that are being led. And now the rapture is a hot topic, and it has been in the past. It has been in the past, and seasonally it becomes a hot topic again, and it is right now. And so if you're tapping the book of Revelations and you think you have something to say about a so-called rapture, do yourself, do everybody in America and everybody in the world a favor, and just take whatever it is, 5-10 minutes out of your life, and before you do your lecture on when this rapture is happening, at least take a listen and over at the particular excerpt that you want to listen to comes up for sure. It could come up other times, but it comes up for sure in an interview at the Jim Bakker Show. And you wanna get that information. You want to get that information before we continue to spread misinformation on a so-called rapture.